Thank you, dear Anna, and thank you for inviting us. Thank you for taking an interest in the topic of climate action as it concerns us all. CEDEF, the organizer of this panel, has been active in climate change for almost 2 decades. Since the Paris Agreement, the states have increased speed for new regulation. The implementation of this agreement requires economic and social transformation based on the best available science. It involves all actors, improved awareness, and numerous measures. The parties involved in the discussion are business and policymakers. Today, we really have great panelists, 3 experts in their fields from Serbia, Slovenia, and Greece. So please allow me to introduce you the panelists. Mr. Filip Radović could not make it today, he apologizes, but his colleague is here that we at CEDEF know very well, Mr. Nebojša Redžić. Mr. Nebojša Redžić, Director of the Environmental Protection Agency
No, sorry. I'm head of department, not their director.
Okay, I'm sorry. Head of the department, Stylianos Tsoktouridis, Managing Director of Alumil YU Industry AD in Belgrade, and Jože Torkar, Chief Operating Officer at Resulta. We will discuss the current regulation and applied measures in reducing the effects of climate change, what products and technological measures are implemented now, especially in constructions and energy efficiency, as well as the other realistic measures for policymakers, business, and citizens that can be implemented in Serbia. The goal is to better understand what can the policymakers do together with business to improve the current situation and the realistic measures that can be implemented now for quicker results. Before we start the discussion, please allow me to set some housekeeping rules. We'll kick off with 3 rounds of questions, and then we'll open up the floor to your questions. Please feel free to type them in the chat, and we will try to answer most of them. So let's start. Mr. Redžić, let's start with you. Besides being the head of department of National Register of Polluters, you are also air and water pollution expert with a rich worldwide experience and over 20 years of experience in environmental science as medical and environmental chemist. From that standpoint, how would you describe current situation in the area of regulations on which the ministry and the agency are working, especially regarding measures to increase energy efficiency and reduce the effects of climate change?
Okay, first, thank you for invitation. And you know that we adopted the new climate change law last week. So we officially start with this EU regulation. And what we also want, what I want to emphasize is the strategy of low carbon development, which is also given in Article 7 of law. So we are working very hard on this, and I think that we will succeed in this regulatory part of using climate change law. So we will need to start with the development of bylaws and regulation, and according the law, we have 1 year for this. So that's what we want to develop is a framework with a high level of transparency, and what is very important, we want to adopt also the Paris Agreement decisions, and what is important for agency as a state governmental body, which is where we need to report. So we have our obligation for reporting. So we already start with the preparation of a reporting system for Paris Agreement, and also during the adoption of this law, we start with the regulations concerning reporting. So for me, that's the most important things for now.
Thank you very much. And Mr. Torkar, how about you? Mr. Torkar? I don't hear you.
We don't.
Sorry.
Okay. Everything is okay, fine.
Yeah, there was a lot of positive steps forward in regulation in Republic of Serbia in last years. In a short time, following public hearing ended now in February this year, we expected updated following legislation in the field of energy in the Republic of Serbia. So first one is energy law. Second one is a new law on renewable sources. Third one is new law on energy efficiency and rational use of energy. And the last one is law on mining and geological research. And we believe that from 2016 onwards, an important step forward has been made in the Republic of Serbia with amendments to the Public-Private Partnership and Concession Act. On the basis of this law, it was possible to implement two contractual models, and that are energy supply contracting and energy performance contracting. If we look first one, energy supply contracting, when we deliver heat, cold, or electricity, we have three references at the moment that are Sremska Mitrovica prison, Toponica hospital, and Pirot schools. And if we look energy performance contracting, where we deliver contractual provision of electricity savings and management and maintenance costs on public lighting systems in that case, we have again a few references in Serbia that are cities or municipalities of Kruševac, Nova Crnja, Petrovac na Mlavi, Beočin, Bogatić, Svilajnac, and so on. There has been a lot of energy efficiency activities in the industry as well. We have references in Atlantic Grupa, in Smederevska Palanka, and on Kopaonik, Elixir Prahovo, EM Bačka Topola, Don Donin Kragujevac, Univerzum in Aranđelovac and Inđija, and so on. So quite a lot of references in last 4 years. Energy efficiency has a very positive impact on the environment. Over a decade of experience, we in Rizalta have identified the technologies and solutions that reduce emissions the most. We help our clients decarbonize with specific technologies that are proven to be energy efficient and eco-friendly, keeping close track of CO2 emissions and always choosing the right solutions for our clients' priorities. So far, we have reduced CO2 emissions by over 70,000 tons with our projects.
So great, thank you very much. Mr. Tsoktouridis, how innovation and new technologies help companies improve their products and users in achieving improved energy efficiency and curbing climate change.
Good afternoon from my side. I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
I would like to speak on behalf of whole Alumil Group, because for us it's not only energy conservation. We have awareness for the environment in general, and we have more than 30 years of history full of innovation and creativity as a multinational company. We in Alumil Serbia, as a part of Alumil Group, of course, we follow the same culture. And despite the current situation with COVID-19 for last year, to improve this culture we have created, we've made teams of Alumil Green Ambassadors, so-called, a team of employees that have a mission to protect the environment, raise awareness of ecological issues, not only within the boundaries of our company, but also cooperate with local for upgrading workspace, for reducing energy footprint, also activities for urban developments like trees replantation or cleaning of coastlines. We have converted this culture into, we have integrated this culture to our corporate social responsibility policy, and we are taking really seriously the conservation of the planet and the protection of the environment for the generations to come. A part of this, as a company, we have made big investments, several millions of euros, in order to acquire smart artificial intelligence systems that are managing our equipment during production processes in order to reduce energy consumption. And in some cases, quite a lot actually, we have achieved to reduce electric power consumption to more than 30%. So we are reducing the footprint of the company. Also, our specialized team of R&D engineers, they follow continuously and study the newest strict standards that are applied from the authorities in order to design systems that can provide solutions so we can have reduction of energy consumption on applications in buildings where our systems are placed. Also, I must say that we are members of the Serbia Green Building Council, so we try through this community to increase awareness of the society for the conservation of the environment and reduce energy consumption.
Thank you, Mr. Tsoktouridis. Mr. Torkar, as an established expert with great experience in the field of sustainable development, which includes energy and environmental solutions for the public and commercial sector, industry and households, what do you see as the biggest gaps in the regulation? What is desirable and what is realistic and can be implemented now?
Yeah, good question. It is not good to speak about the gaps if you do not give solutions at the same time. Good news, modern legislation is in preparation phase, and with adoption of it, development of the energy service market is expected. It will go much faster than in the last 5 years with these new rules. Because the challenges are in details, and I think that additional interministerial coordination and the development of clear guidelines for the implementation of energy efficiency and renewable energy projects for public partners are needed. That's a really important topic. Maybe Mr. Redžić will say later on a little bit more about that. Today, there are no adopted model contract by the Ministry of Mining and Energy to be an important rule and guideline for energy supply. So we need these energy supply rules. The net contract makes a lot misunderstanding between energy services and energy activities. It is expected that new energy efficiency law is going to solve this. We expect this new law in next month. It is necessary to underline that energy service to supply energy is not only delivery of energy to the customer. It is much more. It is at the same time the investment and delivery of energy to energy service customer. Also, from my knowledge, it is important to improve raise of awareness to explain all benefits of energy efficiency and energy services. Probably an even more important aspect that saving energy is reducing emissions of harmful substances into the environment. We know that we have quite big challenges in all big Serbian cities. When we talk about the environment, we need to think about two aspects. The external environment on one hand, that's air, water, and so on, and the indoor environment, that's living comfort, for example. I would like to point out the positive shift in legislation. It's very positive, and a lot of talk about national energy and climate plans in the Serbian media. That's for sure very positive. With the latest legislative activities, Serbia will be significantly closer to the EU legal framework. And at the same time, Serbia will upgrade its role in the European energy market. That's what I expect. Last but not least, energy efficiency projects are one of the most important factors in improving living standards and reducing energy poverty. They bring us so-called megawatts, which means permanently lower energy consumption. And from my point of view, Serbia should go very ambitiously in the direction of energy efficiency project.
Thank you, Mr. Torkar. Mr. Tsoktouridis, we know that buildings use a lot of energy for all purposes. Can you tell us about the potential budgetary savings that energy efficiency can bring to users of private and public buildings while also helping the environment?
We estimate that maybe 40% of annual heating and cooling costs can be attributed to energy losses through windows that are old and drafty. This percentage could be reduced if we replace windows with a proper design system. Sometimes aluminum, of course, it is considered a very expensive material for providing a solution of energy conservation. But we must take into consideration the lifetime of aluminum application, the maintenance-free solution, and also the aluminum is one material which is 100% fully recyclable. And this is something that our company has been focusing. We call it circular economy, where we actually have invested millions of euros to have our own cast house. And by converting end-of-life scrap, we can convert aluminum billets with a green certificate by using only 5% of the energy which is required versus the energy required to produce primary aluminum billets out of bauxite and aluminum oxide. So we must say that there will be around 2023 regulation, at least in North Europe, where a green billet certificate will be requested for green projects. And we are proud to say that in Alumil, we are already in position to offer, even today, products with green certificate that are produced by converting green billets. Another thing that can offer through our advanced systems is low UW value. In many projects, like the one in Google headquarters in Manhattan, in New York, we have achieved 0.55 watts per meter square Kelvin. But as a Serbian law regulates, we can achieve less than 1.5, which is required for green certificate of the buildings. Our engineers continuously provide systems with compatible with a variety of fittings and designs. They follow the environmental product declarations, and the buildings that are using such systems provided by Alumil can achieve LEED certificate.
Thank you. Mr. Redžić, what would be your stand regarding biggest gaps in the regulation? What is desirable and what is realistic and can be done now?
First, my colleagues from the panel, they are talking about how to say micro projects and mini projects. And I'm coming from a governmental body, so my point of view is totally, how to say, different. Where is the main gaps? Main gaps is that we need to provide to Serbian users, we need to provide bylaws for implementation of climate change law. Also, we need to finish our work on low carbon strategy. And this strategy need to show us a pathway for development and roads, how to say, have lower emissions on economic payment and efficiency way. So what is very important, especially Mr. Torkar told us about a lot of projects, what he done in Serbia. Where is the one of the, for me, as a person who is dealing with inventory, if this lower emissions are not visible in inventory, for me, and according to UNFCCC, it's not the scene. So that's, we need to make some kind of interface between us and all projects which are working in Serbia. Also, what Mr. Stelios said about the using of aluminum windows, and it's very, very important. I know that from my personal work on that. So it's very important to have a very good also laws and this law framework for adoption of this. As I remember from 2 weeks, I think I saw the some kind of advertisement from Ministry of Environment about subsidies for aluminium and plastic PVC windows and doors. So that's it's necessary to be very good regulated for good adoption of this. I mentioned the strategy, and we need to also adopt the sectoral policies and all sectoral policies need to have quantitative assessment of the assessment of their policies on changing of level of greenhouse gases, and also for adaptation and mitigation measures during planning. So that's very important to have a very stabilized system in a government, in a state level about these activities. Mr. Torkar mentioned a new law of climate change in EU, and I think that we need to start to start to work on this changing of when also EU adopt this law. So we have a lot of work in front of us, and okay, this is from my side. I took too much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Redžić. Now, dear panelists and hosts and guests, we are on our third round. Mr. Tsoktouridis, you successfully managed large greenfield projects in the Southeast Europe region. Would you recommend closer cooperation with architects and more education of the public on the benefits of energy efficient products that save the environment?
Indeed, not only I recommend, it is our duty to cooperate with architects in all markets globally and increase awareness, and also inform them continuously about our newly designed products and about the specifications and properties they can achieve by applying to buildings. Apart of that, we started a program working closely with undergraduate students in Faculty of Architecture. Unfortunately, COVID-19 postponed some of our activities we had planned. We hope that very soon we shall be able to resume again. So to educate the students about the benefits they can achieve on the buildings they are designing by applying such products like Alumil green systems. And additionally, we have in New Belgrade a 450 square meter showroom where architects and also all our potential customers can come and see physically in samples the systems we can provide as solutions for their designs and buildings. Another, maybe not so much related to buildings, but I would say green product that Alumil has very recently launched is the pure aluminum tracker system. This is a solar system made exclusively by aluminum that is following the move of the sun by applying the astrological maps of the area, is converting solar power, which is totally green, to electric power, and it has more than 25% efficiency than the fixed mounting solar systems. I know it is not related to buildings, but it's a product which is quite innovative, and also it proves that Alumil can provide solutions for green energy other than aluminum solar system, architectural systems. I would say that Alumil Serbia is ready to provide solutions and support government's initiative, government of Serbia initiative for the replacement of old windows in order to reduce energy consumption in houses in Serbia by providing its innovative systems and also certified by EPD, and also by green billet certificates.
Thank you. Mr. Redžić, what are the most effective measures in the field of public policies that can bring long-term benefits to the economy and citizens?
Oh, that's a very tough question. Implementation of the climate change law and the strategy of low carbon development will bring a lot of new things, new activities in Serbia. But for me, if we don't have a good implementation and don't have enough transparent data, which is responsible by, how to say, my department, we couldn't succeed. So, as I probably mentioned, Mr. Torkar talk about projects in Serbia, but we need to receive the data from that to be part of our inventories, to be part of our, how to say, recommendation for future. So if we don't collect enough good data, I don't think so that that will be very good. But I expect, because we have a few other projects concerning reporting to agency and from agency to European Union, UNFCCC and others. So we have a lot of space for development. And I think that we will succeed anyway, but I said without capacity building of our people to use energy efficiency measures, to use all other measures concerning lower emissions of CO2 and other gases, so that I think that we have a lot of space for success. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Torkar, let's finish this part of discussion with your suggestions for business and citizens regarding realistic energy efficiency and climate change measures.
Thanks. First one, establishment of independent regional agency, energy and environmental agencies to support public bodies to prepare projects and obtain financial support partially or in full. It is recommended that those agencies are set up by public partners such as municipalities and ministries. However, private agencies that provide support in development of ideas and running processes in public-private partnerships often prove to be even more effective. Those agencies must have a critical mass of highly qualified staff who will be able to help public partners to prepare projects that improve Serbia's energy and environmental health. That's first one. Second one, which is really important one, buildings are the largest consumer of energy, accounting for 40% of the final energy consumption structure. Energy renovation of buildings is therefore a great opportunity to improve energy efficiency in Serbia. Given the experience of the Republic of Slovenia, I would like to emphasize that it makes sense to establish a system at the level of Republic of Serbia, which enables comprehensive energy rehabilitation of buildings. Not only technological measures, but also replacement of insulation and windows. energy services could be performed in the base form of energy performance contracting or energy supply contracting. Due to the long payback periods of investments in building insulation and window replacement, the state has to create grants that are awarded on extremely clear terms. The Republic of Slovenia provides 40% of grants for those purposes, which at the same time mean that through public-private partnership, 100 million euro of public funds on the market generates over 250 million of projects. Therefore, to accelerate comprehensive energy renovation of buildings in public sector, the Ministry of Mining and Energy should harmonize and publish the guidelines for the comprehensive energy renovation of buildings in the public sector with use of energy performance contracting model. Energy Efficiency Directive defined that the public sector should be an example to show the effects of building retrofit. And believe me, these guidelines will be the most important thing if you want to have a really good speed of future pipeline of projects. We expect that Ministry of Mining and Energy will lead this project. New and updated model contracts are also expected. There is a need for model contract for energy supply contracting for public sector. And at the end, there are good examples in the region. Slovenia has one of the best in the European Union, and I'm convinced that the Slovenian Ministry of Infrastructure is ready to help the Republic of Serbia with this experience. That's second point. Third and very important one is use public-private partnerships to accelerate investment in the energy and environmental projects. Public partners and their advisors should take care of the public good in the preparation of projects, the publication of public tenders, the conduct of negotiations, and ultimately the verification of results. This last thing is very important one. On the other hand, private partners invest their capital in those projects, taking care of optimal project planning, implementation, operations, and maintenance. And most importantly, they take care of achieving contractually agreed energy and environmental effects over a period of 10 to 15 years. For example, experience from Slovenia shows that capital expenditure of building retrofit with use of public-private partnership models are around 15% lower than in traditional public procurement. And on the other hand, energy savings and environmental effects are 15 to 25% higher in public-private partnership projects than in traditional public procurement. The use of specialized expertise and knowledge of private companies that provide energy services significantly contributes to this. And Tamara, do I have one bonus?
Of course, of course. Thank you.
Last but not least, people. There's everything in people. Systematic work in education and promotion of innovations. It is necessary to mobilize our human resources, develop and empower them in order to achieve the ambitious goals of the transition to a carbon neutral society by 2050. Let's be creators, not just users of the technologies of the future. Thanks.
Thanks. Thank you very much. So, dear all, in conclusion, allow me to briefly sum up our interesting discussion and some of the main insights. It is obvious that being faced with climate change, there are many measures and policies that need to be created and implemented. And we need to do that fast. In order to be practical, it was important for this CEDEF panel to look into some of the more practical measures. Mr. Redžić has explained to us how the Serbian Environmental Protection Agency and the ministry are contributing with regulation and keeping up the high standards. Less emissions in the air, other pollutants can also come from work in construction, as buildings contribute about 40% of energy use. Risalta and Alumil have practically demonstrated how crucial it is for the industry to have the right solutions, to work together with policy creators, and also employ science and innovation. Constantly innovating technologies and products facilitate less pollution, more energy efficiency, more green energy, and more comfortable of life of citizens. It is also brings savings to the budgets, the whole society. So everyone wins. On that note, let me cheer a big thanks to the organizer, CEDEF, who have been active in the field almost as pioneers. And a huge thanks to Nebojša Redžić, Stylianos Tsoktouridis, and Jože Torkar for sharing with us their expertise. So, time to open up the floor for your question. I think that the first one is Nicholas. Then the question is for Mr. Tsoktouridis. Is there a huge difference between public awareness in these different markets where Alumil functions?
I would say that there are differences, but I cannot say there are huge differences. With Alumil, we are operating in more than 30 countries around the globe through our subsidiaries. There are some more energy efficiency sensitive societies, like I would say Canada or North Europe. But in general, there is awareness spread all over the globe, and more societies are becoming more mature and requesting energy efficiency products. For us, regardless where we are operating, it is our duty, like I said, to work close with the society, with our own people and with architects and authorities in order to provide information, increase awareness, and push products that are energy efficient and applicable for solutions that investors are planning to invest in every market.
Thank you very much. We have another question. With so many old buildings in cities and villages, should banks maybe help finance new windows for citizens?
Indeed, as far as I know, it is subsidized through banks. The government program will be financed through banks for individual projects. This is, I know, I do not know information. I heard about 5 banks will be participating into this program. It remains to be seen, but for sure it's financed by banks.
Thank you very much. Maybe Mr. Redžić would like to answer this question too, or Mr. Torkar.
Mr. Redžić, your microphone is off.
Sorry.
Thank you.
I think I said that in the beginning of our webinar is that Ministry of Environment provides some subsidies for new windows and new doors, and I don't have enough information about this, but please find that internet site of ministry, and I think you can find it there.
Okay, thank you. Let me look at our chat. Yes, we have one more question, probably for all. Is private-public partnership a good option for energy efficiency solutions? So, okay, thank you.
I already tried to explain. Yes, it is. And in Slovenia, we have quite a good track record of last 7 years, and all this data which I shared with you are showing that the public-private partnership approach is the best one. You will have the best results with this approach.
I see now that we have a correction for the previous question for you. If private-public partnership is a good option for energy efficiency solutions, who are ideal public partners?
Yeah, ideal private partners are municipalities on one side. So their buildings, schools, kindergartens, and so on. Buildings which have more than 150 kilowatt hours per square meter per year of consumption. That's other criteria. And later on, narrower public sector, so ministries for education, health, also military, and so on.
Okay, thank you. We have now a question from Rebecca for Mr. Tsoktouridis. Is there a future of Windows in development of smart city options?
Yeah, I assume that the future could be creating smart buildings. Of course, Windows is a part of the building. And as we see, our applications can be operated not only manually, but through accessories that are generated with electric power remotely, smartphone. So smart city is something very general. It is not only related to Windows. I believe smart cities is the whole building itself. So you need to have all applications working through artificial intelligence. And this is where we are moving, us and all our partners.
Thank you very much. In chat, we don't have any other question, but maybe someone would like to ask our panelists something, or to share the comment with us, or idea or thought, or please. Okay. If we do not have any other question or idea, then I will say this. My name is Tamara Vučenović, and as today's CEDEF moderator, I wish you a very good day and many more of these insightful sessions. Really, we all need them. Thank you. Stay safe and goodbye. Thank you all.
Thank
you.
Thank you as well.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye.